Guess who's back, bitch? Hi guys, welcome back to my booktube channel. My name's Tolani and you are watching Tea Time with T Reads. Maybe I'll read a book, or maybe 2 or 3. I'll add a few more paintings to my gallery. I'll play guitar and knit and cook and basically just wonder when will my life begin. Maybe I'll read a book, or maybe 17. I'll add a few more paintings to my gallery. Play guitar and knit and cook and basically just wonder when will my life begin. So hi guys, welcome back to my booktube channel. If you've been here before, welcome back, and if this is your first time here, you're most definitely welcome into my inner circle. So today I'm going to be telling you guys all about the books I read in April. In the month of April I read 20 books I believe, and I'm so excited to talk to you about all of them. And yeah, without further ado, let's get into the wrap up. So the first 6 books I read in the month of April is the Planet Barbarians series by Ruby Dixon. The series is a hot, trashy mess. So for those of you that don't know, I found out about Ice Planet because Mina Reads, I'll link her channel down below, was reading it, and I was like, this seems very interesting. I think she posted like a snippet of it on her Twitter, and I was like, what the fuck are you reading now, Mina? Like, what the fuck are you reading? And I also watched, I think it was a vlog she has of her reading it, so I decided to get it because they're all on Kindle Unlimited if you have Kindle Unlimited. For those of you that don't know what it is, Ice Planet Barbarians is about well, it's sci-fi, so it's about these aliens. So this group of human women, they get abducted, right, by these aliens who plan to sell them off. Trigger warning, by the way, for rape and sexual abuse. Kidnapped, they've been abducted, taken away from their home, and the first book follows this girl named Georgie, and she just wakes up and she's on a spaceship and she's like, what the fuck? Anyway, there are some girls that are in like these pods, safely concealed, like they're asleep, but then Georgie and the rest of the girls she is with are in this holding cell, and they are the spares. Anyway, they get deposited on this planet that the girls have started calling Not Hoth, and the aliens leave, but they are coming back to collect their cargo in a bit. Cool. So the girls are like, no, this won't do. We are not going back with these dirty aliens. Even if we can't get back to Earth, we will just find a way to live on this planet. Anyway, cool. So Georgie, she's kind of their leader. She ventures out to find supplies, and she stumbles upon this alien from another alien race, and he knocks her out and takes her to a cave, and when she wakes up, he's eating her pussy. I was not expecting it. Yeah, she's like, what the hell is going on? Anyway, fast forward, we learn that to survive on this planet, you need something called a key, and basically they slay this animal in the gate and they have to insert it into your neck. If you don't receive one, you will die. So these girls, they've been abducted from their home. They have no idea what's going on. Some of them have just woken up from like a 2-week slumber, and they got told basically either you take this thing, but that means also you can never leave this planet, or you die. But then if they take it, obviously they have no means of getting back to Earth. Not that they had like a way that they thought they were going back to Earth, but it takes away the possibility, the chance, the hope. This key comes with a bit of an added bonus, or not, depending on how you see it. And basically, keys resonate to one another, which means that if, say I have a key and someone else has a key, and they resonate for each other, it means we're now mates. This is a wonderful surprise for this alien tribe, because they have a shortage of women in this tribe, which means they're going to be a dying race. But now they have this lovely bundle of human women to pick and choose from, and all the males, because there's a lot of males in this tribe, are just ecstatic, like, yes, we have our pick of the litter. And bloody hell, some of the girls are not too thrilled, as you could imagine. Like, you dumped me on this planet, and now you tell me I have to receive this thing, and on top of that you now say we have to be mates. Are you sick? And it's like, you can't choose. It's like your body wants to do it, even if your mind is telling you no. And yeah, so that is in a nutshell is what the Ice Planet Barbarian series is about. And each book follows like a new couple that has resonated to each other. Some of the girls want to resonate, some of the girls don't want to and fight it. And yeah, it's utterly trash. Sometimes I know they will talk about it from Annie Adores. I'll link her channel down below as well. we this series is so ridiculous. Sometimes when we talk about it, I just giggle. And I also discovered there's a podcast on it, which I think is bloody fantastic. But anyways, yeah, that's what the series is about. My ratings always range. I'm never giving it above a 4-star, except for perhaps the 6th book, which is Tiffany's Story. The series is really quick. They're so quick to read. Like literally I fly through them. I think I was reading them day after day after day. Like there's a few more books in this. If you just want something fun, quick read, I do recommend it. It's basically porn, alien/human porn. The sex scenes are very intense because the aliens bits, they have the same bits as us, but they're a bit different, and it's just a lot of fun to read. Like I said, most of them is 1 to 3 star rating, with the exception of Tiffany's Story, and I did that because she gave me black girl magic, and I just love seeing a black girl being the most desired in the tribe. That's the only reason I gave it 4 stars. The writing is not spectacular, but like I said, it's very fun. And yeah, if you want something quick to boost up your Goodreads score or something, I would recommend. The next book I read in the month of April was the first 3 books in the selection series. I've spoken about this briefly on my channel in another video, so you should go and watch that. The selection, if you don't know what the selection is about, the selection is well, the first 3 selection books anyway focus on this girl, 16-year-old American singer, and basically it's set in like a dystopian type version of America called Ilya or Alea, I don't know how to pronounce it. And anyways, in this country, in this, you know, new dystopian America, they are castes through 1 to 8. So if you're a 1, you're like the richest in society, you lack for nothing, you are seen as superior, and if you're an 8, you're homeless. So as you go up, your status in society diminishes. America is a 5, and 5s are like artists and stuff like that, anything. The royal family had this son, he's a prince, and they've only been having sons for years and years and years. Like every generation has produced a son. So the selection is an opportunity for girls in every single province in Ilya to apply to become one of the selected. And if you're one of the selected, you have a chance to vie for the prince's heart, and you can end up becoming his wife. America has no interest in becoming the prince's wife. From what she's seen on TV and stuff, she thinks him rather dull and a basic boring Caucasian bitch. But you know, her mum really wants her to apply for reasons of her own. She doesn't want to apply, but every single girl in her province is basically applying, so she doesn't think she's gonna get it, right? So she's just like, okay, you know what, fuck it, I'm going to apply, I'm not gonna get it. Of course she ends up getting it, and yeah, all the selected, there's 36 selected in the beginning, kind of like that show The Bachelor, even though I never watched it. People get eliminated and stuff. She's whisked off to the palace and she has to live there, and then she meets Prince Maxwell, and we kind of follow their journey from there. There's also a bit of a political subplot. Like I said, I've spoken about this in one of my other videos, which I'll link down below if you're interested in learning more about the selection. The selection was another series that I thought was complete and utter trash. I only read this because I wanted to talk about it with Annie, and also I think there's a TV show or movie coming out on Netflix, and I want to be involved with book Twitter. I'm not gonna lie, I do want to be involved, and it's been on my want to read for years, and if I didn't read it now, I was never gonna read it, so I was like, might as well. But anyways, like I said, I thought it was trash, but like I said, it's enjoyable trash. Like Planet Barbarians, Planet Barbarians is trash as well, but it's enjoyable trash to me. Like, it's not written particularly well, the plot is always predictable, like it's whatever, there's nothing that occurs that shocks me, but like I said, they're quick, they're fun, they're easy. The selection, I will say that you can tell this book was written when it was, because America gives off this like, I'm not like other girls vibe, I like to wear jeans, I don't want to be a princess, I'm not into makeup, I'm not into this, like I'm not like those other girls, like shut up. I personally found her very annoying, but overall I enjoyed reading the series. The next book I read in the month of April was actually a reread. This is one of my favorite books of all time, and it's my feel-good book. I read it when I'm feeling down, or I just want something fun, or I feel a bit sad, you know, and that is Always the Bridesmaid by Lindsay Kelk. Now, Lindsay Kelk is a chick lit author. She's the author of the I Heart series, which I've read all of the books in. Chick lit and I have a complex relationship because it's often hit and miss. Now, I'm not saying this book is the pinnacle of all literature. That's not why I love it, okay? With most chick lit that I read, it's not amazing writing. That's not why I read it. Like I said, this book makes me feel good. So Always the Bridesmaid follows this woman named Maddie. I think she's 30 and her best friend is getting married. She is a wedding planner and her best friend asks her to plan her wedding as well as be her bridesmaid, and she agrees, cool. And she's basically planning her best friend's wedding for free, and she should be getting paid for the extortionate amount of services she's providing, whatever is cool. And she's just, you know, she's 30, she's single, she's lamenting that, you know, she's been bridesmaids at so many weddings and like she's still single. One of her other best friends, Sarah, is in the middle of a divorce, and the friend that's getting married, Lauren, is being a bridezilla. There's just so much going on in her life, and yeah, it's just so fun. It takes the format of the book is like she's writing in this bridesmaid's diary that Lauren gave her, and she has to document her journey through the process of her getting named Lauren's bridesmaid to the day of Lauren's wedding. And it's just so fun and quirky. Like, I just love it so much. I have a review on Goodreads, so I'll link it down below. But yeah, this is one of my all-time favorite books of all time because it just makes me feel good and it makes me laugh out loud, and it's set in London, and I just love reading about places that I recognize and I know, like, oh, I know where that is. Again, this is a quick fun one and I really enjoy it. I bought this for £1 when I was like 14 at my old primary school's like church kind of functioning thing they were having. Didn't read it until I was 16 and I fucking loved it then, still love it now. I never lose. The next book I read in April is another reread, and this is also one of my feel-good books, although it's it's more serious than Always the Bridesmaid. But I love it so much, and this is an adult book actually, and this is How Do You Like Me Now by Holly Bourne. Holly Bourne has some YA books as well that I know are a bit popular, but this is her first adult and I fucking love this so much. I've also spoken about this on my channel before and I have a Goodreads review and I will link it below. So How Do You Like Me Now follows Tori Bailey, and at the surface, she has everything you think she could want. She has a swanky London flat, really fancy, very expensive. She has a best-selling like self-help book called, I think it's Who the Fuck Am I or something along those lines. She's very successful, very rich, like she's booked and busy, okay, and she is in a committed loving relationship that she's been in for 5 years. So at the surface, it seems like she has this amazing, brilliant life, but it's not like that at all. Trigger warning for emotional abuse and gaslighting. The relationship she's in, whilst in the beginning it fulfilled her and it made her happy, now things have taken a turn, and this just follows her journey. She has a lot of insecurities. Like I said, she's in like a kind of emotionally abusive relationship, and I related to this so much. So this was a present from my brother, and when I saw it in Waterstones, I requested for it. I just thought it was gonna be a funny coming of age story about women in their 30s, which it was, kind of in a way, but it was also so much more than that. My Goodreads review is so much more detailed and I feel like I won't really do it justice if I just speak about it, so I'm gonna link it down below, my Goodreads review, and please read it if you're interested. Like I said, it's an adult novel and I think it's really important for everyone to read, especially if you're a woman. I'm gonna quickly read the synopsis. There's no doubt that Tori is winning the game of life. She's inspired millions of women to stick 2 fingers up at convention with her best-selling memoir, and she has the perfect relationship to boot. But Tori Bailey has been living a lie. Everyone around her is getting married and having babies, but her long-term boyfriend won't even talk about getting engaged. And when her best friend Dee, her +1, the only person who understands the madness, falls in love, suddenly Tori is in terrifying danger of being left behind. When the world tells you one thing and turning 30 brings it with a loud ticking clock, it takes courage to walk your own path. It's time for Tori to practice what she's preached, but the question is she brave enough? I thought it was brilliant. And another reason I think it's brilliant, I'm a character driven girl. I'm 50% character, 50% plot. I do not like Tori at all. I don't think she's a particularly likable character, and yet I was rooting for her. I wanted her to win. I felt sympathy for her at many points in the novel, even when I was annoyed with her, because sometimes she can be very vindictive and she can be just so negative and stuff. And when I mean negative, not in regards to herself but to other people, and I think she does it to make herself feel better. But the fact that I still felt sorry for her and I still want her to win, I think it's a testament to Holly Bourne's fantastic writing. I really enjoyed this book and I think you should pick it up. The next book that I read in the month of April was a highly anticipated one for me, and it did not disappoint, and that was My Dark Vanessa. Till this day, I have not rated the book yet. Don't get me wrong, it was fucking brilliant. Like, honestly, it was so fantastically written. It was brilliant. But I've never read a novel. Sol from The Bookish King put this on Goodreads, and I agree. He said he's never read a book that made him feeling so empty and lifeless, and that's exactly how I felt after reading it. Even the next day, I'm writing a book and I write poetry and spoken word, and all the poems I wrote the next day, I wrote about 10 poems, had such a dark tone from my usual writing. And when I shared my writing with some of my friends, they were all like, your writing is so dark today. And I was just like, oh my gosh, it's because of My Dark Vanessa. So My Dark Vanessa is about Vanessa, a girl named Vanessa, and in the beginning, well, the book switches between when she's 15 and then when she's a grown adult, so 30 years old. But 15-year-old Vanessa enters a relationship with her 42-year-old English teacher, Mr. Strain. And it basically follows her from adolescence into adulthood, and you basically just get to see how this relationship and everything that occurred during the relationship fucks up her psyche so bad. Like, you can see the effects, the negative impacts this relationship has had on her. You can see it reflected within the relationships that she has with not just other men and stuff, but with her family members, in terms of forming friendships. It just screws up the way she sees a lot of things. He has gaslit her to the point where she doesn't even see herself as a victim. She's convinced herself in her head that she wanted it. Everything that occurred is because she wanted it. The book was very dark. At least the ending wasn't particularly happy, but I wasn't mad at it because I like that mental health is not always a linear, clean journey. I don't think it ever is. There are ups and downs. Sometimes the road to healing is very messy, and I think you can definitely see that in this book. It was a very messy healing process, and even by the end, not by any means healed or fully healed, but you can see she's kind of finally got on the right track. I just, like, certain scenes for me, I had to stop reading the book many times. I read it on ebook because it was so dark, because I was infuriated by what I was reading. It really hurt. I'm not gonna lie, it hurt for me to read, but I'm so happy I read it. Even now talking about it, like, my heart kind of hurts. Like, the impact this book has had on me is astounding. Like, it's absolutely astounding. If you think you can handle reading such a heavy book, then I do recommend it. It's by no means a happy story, but it is deeply thought-provoking, and like I said, I think it successfully portrays the psyche of a victim. Like I said, usually with certain stories I've read with victims, you see them acknowledging that they're a victim and a wrong was done with them, and a wrong has been done to them. However, I think this book kind of shows the flip perspective. This is a victim who, her abuser has convinced her that she is not in fact a victim, that nothing that occurred to her was wrong, that she has chosen it. And I really, not that I enjoyed this, but I think it was nice to see the flip perspective, because all perspectives when it comes to abuse, when it comes to issues like this, are relevant, and I think it's important that they are covered. So yeah, that was My Dark Vanessa. The next book I read in April, I actually have the physical copy, but I'm back in my uni house because I'm doing exams and I left it at home, is The Poppy War by R.F. Kuang. So The Poppy War is an adult fantasy novel, and it centers on Rin, and Rin at the beginning of the book is either 15 or 16. So Rin takes this test, I think it's called the Kinji or the kunji, and she takes this test. It's this exam that all hopefuls who want to be admitted into military schools have to. So anyway, any hopeful that wants to get into one of these very elite military schools, it's mandatory, you have to take this exam. So anyway, Rin is just a poor orphan girl, you know, and the only reason she even decides to do this test and to enter one of these military schools is because her adopted family, whom have no love nor affection for her person, they want to sell her off to this like really old man so they can get rid of her, and she's not having it. She's like, no, I would rather die than get married to that man. She takes the test. People study for this from when they are born. I mean it, from 3 years old, they're banging out the books. She only has a very limited amount of time. I don't remember the exact time, but her tutor actually tells her it's impossible. Like, I don't think you can do it. And she says, give me the material and I'll do it, bruv. Don't tell me what to do, fam. You heard? She ends up doing it. Not only does she end up doing it, she ends up scoring at the top of her, like, in her whole province. And she gets admitted into the most elite military school, which is called Singard. The reason they have these military schools is because the Nakara Empire, so Nakara, the country Rin lives in, has had 2 wars, and one of the wars they barely won, and they're on the verge of a 3rd popular war. And so they train these soldiers to prepare them for this war that, though right now it's not coming, they know it's inevitable. So they train in strategy, fighting, like a whole different bunch of topics, even politics. They learn about it in history. And Rin has to go to this academy. Anyway, she discovers that she has this gift, the gift of shamanism, which has been lost. And many people think it's tomfoolery and they don't believe in it or whatever. But there's this one very kooky tutor, and he realizes her potential and he trains her. They end up going to war. The 3rd Poppy War commences in this book. And she uses her gift of shamanism to help her country win the war, but shamanism comes at the price. Shamanism, the power stems from the gods, and these gods, once you call that power, it's like they're actually living within you. Imagine having a god living within you. It will drive you insane. You have to barter so much in order for this power. I gave this book a 3 out of 5 stars. I didn't enjoy it as much as I thought I was going to, but it was not a bad book. It was written very well. I really liked some of the characters. There's a romance I'm hoping will occur. I am still going to continue on with the series. I'm going to read the 2nd book, and I know that the 3rd and final book is coming out this year. I don't know if I didn't like it because I kind of was pausing quite a bit when I read it, so maybe I didn't appreciate the story fully. Maybe it's because I'm still new to the adult fantasy genre, but then again, not really, because I read Game of Thrones. If you can read Game of Thrones, I think you're ready for adult fantasy. The next 2 books I read are part of the same series, and I read this because Mina reads again. Queen Mina is our influencer queen, everyday influence. And also Heather from Aphrodite reads, and that is Radiance and Eidolon. Now, this book, the 1st book anyway, Radiance, follows a political arranged marriage between Brishan and Ildiko. Now, Ildiko is a human and Brishan comes from this other race. Like, they are not human beings, they're something else. They both find each other completely hideous. Like, Brishan thinks humans are ugly and Ildiko thinks his race is ugly, but they start off as friends. And I know it might sound a bit like, is this supposed to be, it's a romance. It might be like, what kind of romance is this? They find each other ugly. But because of how honest they are with one another and how friendly they are, and you can see there's actually no malice when they call each other ugly. It's just because they're not used to each other's features and how they look. Imagine you're a human and you're seeing an alien, like, and you're forced to marry the alien. Well, not forced, but it's an arranged marriage. You're like, ew, like, this is not what you're used to. And he's seeing you, he's probably gonna think you're hideous too. But they're so honest about it, and they jest a lot about how each other looks and how they scare each other, and it's actually quite cute. My favorite trope is enemies to lovers. Like, I would die for that trope. I love it. I love hate to love. Like, it's my favorite thing. Like, inject that shit in my veins. However, this book actually made me appreciate the friends to lovers. I thought the transition was beautifully done. Beautifully done. It's a 4.5 stars. It was honestly so cute. It was such a lovely romance. I've only recently properly started liking the romance genre, and honestly I think this is one of my favorite romances to date. There's also a plot, like, there's more than the romance, a bit of a political plot. and if you read the second book, it comes more into play. I loved the first book and I love both the characters, and I did enjoy the second book. So yeah, I will be patiently awaiting for the third. I read in April was American Royals. I also think I discussed this on my channel. American Royals is basically at the end of the Battle of Yorktown. Instead of offering George Washington the presidency, what if they offered him a kingship, a monarchy? What if they made him king? And so for generations later, the Washingtons are still the monarchs of the United States of America, and basically it just follows their lives as royals and the protocols they have to follow and all that jazz. Like I said in my other video, the UK/European royals are still superior. Like, no one else could ever. One thing I would say, there's no diversity whatsoever. There's one Latina character. Everyone else is white as fuck and straight as fuck. I thought someone was giving off a bit of a bi vibe. Whether or not they are cannot be confirmed nor denied at this point, because the second book is coming out this year, next month, I believe, in June. I liked it. I gave it a 3 out of 5 stars, I believe. I didn't emotionally connect to any of the characters. I mean, I liked 2 or 3 characters maybe, and some of the 2 characters I'm saying I didn't necessarily care for them. I just really liked their relationship. But I really liked Samantha, who's the kind of rebellious. She's like American Diana, except she's not as iconic as Diana, because no one could ever be as iconic as Diana. Okay, that's my mom's best friend, bitch. And I really liked her. She was my favorite. Everyone else I thought was very like basic and boring. And even Samantha, she's not the most interesting character in the world, but I just really liked her. It's a fun take on what the US would be like if they had royals instead of the presidency, and it was alright. It was calm. Another book I read in April is This Lie Will Kill You by Chelsea Pitcher. Let me read you the synopsis. You were cordially invited to tell the truth or face the consequences. 1 year ago, there was a party. At the party, someone died. Until now, no one has told the truth about what happened. Tonight, the 5 survivors arrive at an isolated mansion expecting to compete in a contest with a $50,000 prize. Nobody questions the odd, rather exclusive invitation until it's too late. 5 arrived, but not all can leave. Will the truth set them free, or will their lies destroy them all? From the synopsis, I was so intrigued. I was really excited. One of Us Is Lying had so much potential and didn't pan out the way I wanted. I had high hopes for this. It even says for fans of One of Us Is Lying. I want to get more into the kind of like thriller mystery kind of thing, so I picked this up. I believe I gave it like a 1 star or 2 stars. It was so utterly predictable. I thought it was complete and utter trash. I'm not even gonna waste my time talking about this. If you like the murder mystery dinner kind of thing, you may like this. And like, all our reading styles are different, but I personally thought it was basic and predictable. Read in April was We Were on a Break by Lindsay Helk. Now, if you rewind, you will see how highly I praised Always the Bridesmaid. Even her I Heart series, though it's a bit like, okay, I really like it as well. I gave We Were on a Break 1 star. So We Were on a Break centers around this couple, Adam and Liv, on a holiday to Spain or something. Adam has the intention to propose to Liv. He doesn't know that Liv knows about it, because Adam's brother is married to Liv's best friend. So Liv's best friend finds out. Her husband's already told her, don't tell her. She's like, of course I won't tell her. She goes and tells her best friend, Liv, anyway. So Liv knows, and I guess because she knows, she's nervous, she's on edge, and she kind of starts acting out on the holiday. Anyway, he is looking for the perfect moment to propose, and it never comes. There's a proposal gone wrong. Anyway, they get back to England, to good old England, and they live in one village in the countryside, and he basically accidentally kind of asked for a break. The book goes on to follow them, and they're just doing their own thing, and they love each other, they want each other back, but also it's like, are they gonna get back together? We don't know. The reason I rated this so low is because there was nothing for me to root for. I thought they were incompatible. I didn't think they went well together. I did not see their chemistry, so I didn't get the point. I was like, there's nothing for me to root for in this book. It's nothing for me to root for. If anything, I think you should stay on this break forever, bitch. I hated Adam. I thought I really didn't like him. Like, Adam, just get out my face. Like, shut up. It was just a shitty romance. And Adam's shit. Like, I think Liv deserved 10 times better than him. Another book I read in April was The Worst Best Man by Mia Sosa. The Worst Best Man follows Lena, and she is Afro-Latina. Hey. And basically 2 years before the book starts, she was supposed to get married to her fiance. I forgot what his name is because he's so irrelevant. But anyway, on the day of the wedding, her fiance texts the best man, who is actually his brother Max, and all the message says is, after our talk yesterday, you've made me realise that I can't marry Lena, you're right, she's not for me. And he doesn't show up to the wedding. So poor Max, he doesn't even remember last night because of course they were drunk. He has to go to Lena and deliver this news like, I'm sorry, but the wedding is not happening. And Lena's distraught. She's just like, get out, I never want to see your face again. I never want to see you too. Fast forward 2 years later, Lena's actually a wedding planner. She has a very successful business. She's really good at what she does. She plans these amazing, beautiful weddings. At one wedding, someone approaches her, asking her very intrusive questions about her business and how she plans weddings. And she's thinking, if this person is a competitor and they're trying to steal my tricks of the trade, I'll bash your head, bruv. Obviously she's not thinking that, but she just thinks it's weird that this person is asking these very specific questions. And she finds out that this person, Rebecca, is actually the CEO of this major hotel corporation, the Cartwright Hotel, I believe. And she has this job prospect for Lena that is gonna pay very well. It's 100k a year. She can still keep her assistant, who's her best friend, who will be on a 50k a year salary. And this has come at a perfect time because her office space, which she rents, there's going to be a rent increase and she can't afford that shit. They want to hire her specifically to plan weddings because the hotel wants to focus on events to plan weddings for the hotel. Cool. So she's like, this could be really good for me. She goes to the interview and it's going to be a competition between her and someone else, and she has to work with this. I think they do PR for the hotel. Anyway, in comes her ex-fiance and her brother Max, and on the spur of the moment, she pretends like she doesn't know them. She introduces herself and now everyone runs with it. She now is going to be forced to work with Max on this pitch. And she hates Max. Like, this is the person that is technically responsible for her ex-fiance breaking up with her because of something he supposedly said. And they have to work together and the book goes from there. I love hate to love, like I said, inject it in my veins. I wouldn't really necessarily say this is hate to love because like I didn't properly feel the hatred. She didn't like him, she disliked him. He didn't dislike her because he felt guilty, but it was still cute. I gave it 3.5 stars. I really liked it. I enjoyed it. It was a cute, fun read. Like if you just want a quick romance, I would actually recommend you read The Worst Best Man. And I really liked them together. At points I actually laughed. I thought they were so funny together and I really enjoyed it. And finally, the last 2 books I read in April are the first 2 books in the Daughters of Olympus series, which have now actually finished. I should know that the Daughters of Olympus series are actually poly books, so they feature polyamorous / polygamous relationships. Anyway, how do I explain? So Daughters of Olympus, each book follows a different daughter of Olympus. It was this goddess, and basically she had some Greek gods, I'm not going to spoil which gods they were, several lovers, and she got impregnated by all of them and she gave birth to daughters. However, now for one reason or the other, she's not in the picture, she's trapped, shall we say, and then she has these daughters who were scattered all over the winds. They don't know who each other is and they don't know who they are, and they hold these remarkable powers. They are goddesses. So yeah, each book focuses on a different daughter of Olympus and they have these amazing powers. There's a plot, but it's not really a plot. Like I personally don't think it comes into play properly until the last book. But yeah, all these daughters have multiple partners. The sex scenes were very steamy. It was complete and utter trash, but it was fun reading it. I found it ridiculous that some of these girls were virgins and they were losing their virginity to 3, 4, 5 people at the same time because obviously polygamy baby. I don't think it was portrayed realistically, but it was still fun to read. I was like, girl, y'all freaky. Anyways guys, that's everything I read in the month of April. And yeah, tell me what you guys read, how many books you read. I'm hoping for another super productive reading month in May, and it's Gemini season, bitch. It's my birthday month, the best month. Thank you so much for watching my video. Please like, comment, subscribe. I have all the social media, follow me. I recently made a new Twitter solely for my book stuff. Follow my new Twitter. I have Tumblr. I have Instagram. Yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching my video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.